Welcome back to the Acting Magic channel. Today we're talking about Tatsunari and all the combos you can run with him. But let's get in. Before we get into it, we're sponsored today by MTG On Command. They're really cool with their deck boxes. You get your commander in a little sleeve for the table. It's awesome. Let's get into the video. The goal today is to do it in under 5 minutes. Let's go. So Tatsunari is a 3-drop 3/3, makes a 3/3 green frog whenever you cast an enchantment. That says whenever you cast an enchantment, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Sweet. For 2 mana, we can make our creatures unblockable. Now, let's talk about the combos. 95%, or at least it seems that way, of combos in Sultai decks on EDH Rec seem to include Retreat to Coral Helm, which will, on landfall, untap target creature. That's the most important part. Now, Secure Tribe Scout will put a land from our hand into play, and then Retreat to Coral Helm will untap that Secure Tribe Scout. Cool. Well, the Karoo lands, one of which being Golgari Rotform, bounce a land whenever they come into play. So Golgari Rotform is going to enter the battlefield, and it's going to target something, target a land, to return that land to our hand. Golgari Rotform is just going to target itself, so now it's going to bounce itself. Once it's back in our hand, we're going to replay it with Secure Tribe Scout. Retreat to Coral Helm is going to untap Tribe Scout, and the cycle repeats. Put it into play, untap Tribe Scout, put it back in play infinite times. Now, with these infinite landfall triggers, what we can do is we can draw our entire deck and gain all the life equal number of cards in our deck, or we can mill somebody to death with Hedron Crab. It says whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So either mill or draw our deck. Next up, we can also make somebody melty to death. The Retreat to Hagara says each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Yes, please. But Lotus Cobra also has landfall trigger. It says whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, add a mana of any color to your mana pool. Awesome. So now we have infinite mana. We can play all those cool cards in our hand. Very, very good. All of these cards seem to be good on their own, and they just seem to be gravy whenever we assemble them all. Kamigawa of the East Tree is going to be a 6-drop 6/6 reach. It says, whenever another permanent enters battlefield under your control, if it wasn't put on the battlefield with this ability, you may put a permanent card with equal or lesser converted mana cost from your hand onto the battlefield. Which means whenever Scoot Swarm is going to get a 1/1 off of a land drop, now we can put a land into play off of that ability. Watch. We can put Demur Aqueduct into play from that insect entering the battlefield. Demur Aqueduct is going to come into play, and it's going to target itself, much like Golgari Rotfarm would also work here. Scoot Swarm is going to put another 1/1 into play, and that 1/1 is going to come into play and trigger Kamigawa the East Tree. Kamigawa the East Tree is going to put Demur Aqueduct back into play, triggering another 1/1, and we go infinite. We have infinite 1/1 Scoot Swarm tokens. But wait, this also works with Rampaging Belos, giving us infinite 4/4s instead. Awesome. Next up, we have Utopia Sprawl and Overgrown Tomb. So, Utopia Sprawl has to target a forest, but whenever it comes into play, we get to choose a color. We're going to choose blue. So, enchanted on Overgrown Tomb. Now, our Overgrown Tomb taps for a green or a black and a blue. So now we tap for 2 mana on 1 permanent. Arbor Elf says untap target forest. So we're going to untap Overgrown Tomb and then add 2 mana, a green and a blue. Okay, now we're going to enchant Arbor Elf with Penman's Aura. Penman's Aura, back from, I believe that's Scourge. And for 3 mana, and it says 1 blue mana untap enchanted creature. So every one of that blue mana is going to untap Arbor Elf. Now we can add all of that green mana to our mana pool to do whatever we want with. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, MTG On Command, for sponsoring us. Link in the description below for 10% off on your deck box. Love you guys. Bye. There's the button.